I read the Wikipedia page about Circe, so I have the barest of information. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica, and this is Jessica's library card, and I am so excited to be here today to talk to you all about books and reading and all the fun things that go along with that. Today, I would love to talk about the books that I would like to read in February. I am what you might call a mood reader most of the time, but I aspire to be someone who can stick to a TBR. So I can't guarantee 100% that these are books that I'm actually going to read this month, but I'm going to do my best to stick to it and see if that helps to bring a little bit of order to my reading. One of my goals for the year is to catch up to book 4 of the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. He's coming out with book 5 at the end of this year, and I would really like to be caught up. But I'm really excited to go back and explore the world that Brandon Sanderson created. It was the first epic fantasy series that I read and felt like really spoke to me. Epic fantasy was something that really I had a hard time with for a long time, and then I read the first book, The Way of Kings, which I'm about to reread now, and that really kind of started my love for fantasy that I have. So I'm excited to go back to that world, explore it again, get caught up, and get ready to experience a book with everyone else in the community at the same time. Really excited about that. I'm actually planning to read a second Brandon Sanderson book this month, and that is Tress of the Emerald Sea. Let me grab it from back here. So I have a copy of Tress that I picked up from my library. I love the cover. Love everything about the way this looks. It's described as being a story that's good for fans of The Princess Bride. I love The Princess Bride. Out of the Secret Project books, this is the one that appeals to me the most, definitely. And I just think it's such a pretty book. Look at the inside cover. Look at that. Ooh, it's so pretty. If I like it, if I love it, which I'm really hoping I will, then I'll probably buy myself a copy of it to have and keep forever and reread whenever I want to. But I'm going to try this from the library first, see how I feel. So this is going to be one of my reads for February. Continuing on with fantasy, I'm planning to read The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jiminez. This book actually came through. My library hold came in this morning, and so I emergency added it to my TBR because my library only has 2 copies of it, and I've been waiting on it for quite a while. So it's time for me to get to this one. I don't feel like I've heard a ton of buzz for this book in the community, and I do have a few people that I follow on social media who have really sung its praises. They talk about it being a book that has an unusual structure, of being a fairy tale, full of adventure. And I wasn't really sure what that unusual structure meant until I went to the bookstore and I took a look inside, and I realized that there's a narrator who is speaking to you directly at certain parts of the story. So I'm excited to read it. Let me just read the description. 2 warriors shepherd an ancient god across a broken land to end the tyrannical reign of a royal family in this new epic fantasy from the author of The Vanished Birds. I've had it very highly recommended to me, and I am excited to try it out. So since it is February, and February is the month of Valentine's Day and love and all kinds of things like that, I am planning to read some romantasy and some romance for the month of February. This month I'm hoping to get to Emily Wilde and the Map of the Otherlands by Heather Fawcett. Emily Wilde and the Map of the Otherlands is a sequel to the first Emily Wilde book that came out last year. I read it toward the end of the year. I thought it was charming and cozy and sweet, and the romance was not overbearing, and they were adorable together, and they didn't annoy me. And I'll tell you, romances and books annoy me all the time, but I just thought it was super cute, and I can't wait to read the second installment, which hopefully is going to be coming in from the library for me soon. My hold says it should be about 2 weeks, so hopefully I'll be able to get to that before the end of February and be back in March and be able to tell you what I thought about it. The next romance fantasy that I am planning to read in February is Swordheart by T Kingfisher. T Kingfisher is one of my favorite writers. I love her fantasy. I love her horror. Nettle and Bone is one of my favorite books of all time. So I haven't read any of her kind of romance fantasy books. She has a series, and she has this book, which I believe is a standalone. And I saw it recommended somewhere as a romantasy with characters that are not your typical romantasy heroine and hero. So I picked it up just on the strength of that recommendation because I love T Kingfisher so much. The description sounds super cute. Hala is a housekeeper who has suddenly inherited her great-uncle's estate, and, unfortunately, his relatives. Circe is an immortal swordsman trapped in a prison of enchanted steel. When Hala draws the sword that imprisons him, Circe finds himself attempting to defend his new wielder against everything from bandits and roving inquisitors to her own in-laws. And the sword itself may prove to be the greatest threat of all. That sounds super cute. It sounds like it's going to be sweet and funny, and that's just exactly what I feel like I'm going to be looking for this month, while I'm also working my way through a 1,000-page epic fantasy. Every once in a while, I like to buy myself a Kindle Unlimited membership for a few months when they offer me a deal, and they offered me $2 a month for 3 months last month, so I went ahead and signed up. I don't find that I use Kindle Unlimited a ton. I've read a few things on it. There's always a few books that are exclusive that I want to get to. So when I have a deal, I like to pick it up, read those books, cancel it, because for me, it's not really worth $12 a month. One of the books that I want to read before my subscription is up in March is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I've heard really great things about this romantasy. It's about vampires, and I am old enough that I remember the last time that vampires were having a moment, so I'm pretty excited to see that we seem to be getting a bunch of vampire stories again. That's something that I certainly am looking forward to reading. Our heroine in this book is the adopted human daughter of the night-born vampire king. Her only chance to become something more than prey is entering the Kehari, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. That sounds really good. It sounds like it'll be fun and it'll be adventurous. And I've just seen a lot of people recommend this one. Romantasy is something that I am kind of just dipping my toes into a little bit. So if you have any recommendations for me of books that I should check out in romantasy, I would love that. I haven't read Before You Ask. I have not read any Sarah J. Maas books. I do plan to read them. If you want to tell me where I should start, it seems like there's some controversy about that. So I would love to hear what you think about that. You can let me know down in the comments. I am planning to read an actual romance novel for February for Valentine's Day, and that novel is Say You'll Be Mine. This is a new release. I saw it on the 6 books that readers think you should read this week list from Goodreads or something like that last week. And then I saw it at the bookstore this weekend when I was there, and I thought, you know what, it looks super cute. Let's try it out. The description says, in this utterly charming debut romance, a teacher with big dreams joins forces with a no-nonsense engineer to survive a Nexus wedding and escape matchmaking pressure from their Indian families. Their plan? Faking an engagement, of course. So, if the fake engagement, fake dating, if that's something you're into, which I find that I kind of am sometimes in a romance, I think it sounds cute. I like the cover. It's pink. It looks adorable, so I'm looking forward to reading that in February. And then the last book that I have on my TBR for February is called Lunar New Year Love Story. This is a graphic novel that I saw recommended in the newsletter that my library sent out for this year, and it looks perfect for Valentine's Day. It's about a woman who has given up on love and definitely does not like Valentine's Day. The main character is named Valentina, which is very on the nose. I feel like she's named after Valentine's Day, and it used to be her favorite holiday. But when she learns the truth about what happened with her parents and why she's being raised by a single father, she realizes that true love is a lie. This is reinforced when she meets the spirit of Saint Valentine, who tells her she and her family are cursed to always be unlucky in love. She's ready to give in to her fate until one Lunar New Year festival, where a mysterious lion dancer hands her a paper heart. So, sounds cute. It sounds adorable for Valentine's Day. Sounds perfect for the month of February. Sounds like a nice light read in between some things that are probably going to be a little bit heavier for me this month. I do have one more book on my TBR that's kind of a, if I have time to read it, that would be great. Otherwise, I can push it until March. And that is Circe by Madeline Miller. I read The Song of Achilles a few years ago and I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite books. I think that Madeline Miller's prose is gorgeous. I don't know that much about the story of Circe, so I probably wasn't as excited about it when I saw that she was making a book based on the story of Circe, but I feel like I'm ready to get into it, find out more. I read the Wikipedia page about Circe, so I have the barest of information, and I am ready to learn all about her story and have Madeline Miller really just transport me and make me sympathize with this character who doesn't sound like maybe she was that sympathetic within mythology itself. So that is my TBR for the month of February. I don't know how much I'm going to actually get to. I gave myself 3,500 pages to read. I will be back in March to let you know what I thought of the books that I managed to make it through. If you have any comments about the books that I'm planning to read in March, I would love to hear. If you think they're worth it or if you think I should skip them, go ahead and comment down below. And if you wanted to subscribe, if you'd like to stick around for more bookish content, I would love that. I've got a new channel, so every comment, every like, every subscribe is so exciting for me when I see them. Have a great day. Bye.